and welcome to this edition of the Ended Up in Vegas podcast. I'm Nicci.
I'm Meghan.
And today we have a familiar face in Las Vegas. She is the owner of Skinbar, and she has lived in Las Vegas for quite some time. Lynda Moore, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. Tell us how you ended up in Vegas.
Oh, gosh. So I thought I was going to be here for 5 years. I'm from Southern California, and I worked for Howard Murad. He's a celebrity dermatologist in Manhattan Beach. And I met someone, and he was transferred to Las Vegas. And so Murad transferred me also to Las Vegas, and that's how I ended up. So I guess I ended up following someone who I ended up marrying and having 2 kids with. So it all ended up great.
That's great.
Yeah.
And you can tell that Lynda is in the skin business because she just has radiant, glowing skin. So tell us about your business.
So I opened up Skinbar in 2004, and everyone thought I was crazy because really facials and skincare were either at these glamorous spas on the Strip or in hair salons. That's where you would find a facialist, or a med spa. Mm-hmm. So there was never something that was just a single boutique skincare center. And I remember going to those in LA. So I thought, we really need one here in Las Vegas. So that's when I opened up Skinbar. And so everything's skincare. And we do facials, waxing, chemical peels, microneedling, hydrofacial. So no nails or hair. It's just all skincare. We have a lot of skincare products there as well.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure you have some fun stories from waxing experiences and other things that you've been asked to do.
Yes.
Anything that you want to share that stands out?
One funny thing is Pauly D and his entourage came into Skinbar, and they were filming Pauly D project, and I never saw the show. I never even saw Jersey Shore. Right. Uh-huh. So I didn't know who he was, and I didn't know his entourage. And so they came in, and we thought something funny would be waxing his nostrils. Uh-huh. And so we had him come in, and he lay down, and we put the wax on his nose, and it was just so funny. And we pulled in. He had quite a lot of hair. Uh-huh. He's an Italian guy, so he had a lot of hair up his nose. So that was funny. He yelled like a girl. And so we had, and then in the other rooms I was giving a relaxing facial. So they were showing that, and then they were showing, Pauly D getting tortured. So it was really funny.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
And you have basically a residency on a local television network as a guest. Mm-hmm. So you're very well known in the aesthetics community and taking care of skin. What are some of the things that you talk about on the show that you're on?
So I'm on Fox 5 More show, and I was nervous the first time because I never had TV experience, but I thought, gosh, I do know skincare and beauty. I'm not going to be talking anything about hair or feet or anything that I'm uncomfortable with. Right. So I just went for it and just went out of my comfort zone. And for example, I'm on this Monday, and I'm talking about how to spring clean your makeup bag.
Yeah.
So it's something I have probably 5 makeup bags.
Oh, you do?
And just different ones. It's hard to throw away makeup. You spend a lot of money on makeup, and it's hard to throw away anything that you purchased. Yeah. And so even though it's gone bad and it smells funky, you still like the color maybe, and you're thinking, okay, I could get at least another month out of it. So, and then you just never throw it away. So I'm going to do a little segment on how to clean your makeup bag and throw out your makeup and what to look for. There's little symbols that no one even sees. It's on the back of every skincare and makeup product, and it's a little flip top, and then it shows you how long. Have you ever seen the symbol?
No.
Yeah, well, it's on everything. Huh. There's a little 6 or a little 3 or 12 or 24, and that's when you have to throw it out. So no one ever pays attention to it. Yeah.
Who does that?
No.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So does makeup expire then?
Makeup.
And it's according to that
moisturizers,
date.
Everything expires. Sunscreen usually has a expiration date on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it's just no longer effective, and that's probably you just got to get rid of it and get
bacteria harbors on the makeup, and so a lot of times I'll see clients that have acne and or an eye infection. It's like, okay, you got to throw out that mascara.
Yeah.
You got to throw out the eyeshadow and the foundation and start, fresh.
It's funny that you say that because I have a makeup drawer with all my stuff, and I don't know if my kids were in it and rifled through it, but everything was everywhere. And I was like, gosh, there's a lot of stuff in here I need to get rid of.
Yeah.
You're
like
It's that time.
That eyeshadow palette from 2008. It's like still a lot of it's there, but I don't
only
know.
use one color, but I gotta hang on to the whole thing.
Exactly.
I like that one.
Yeah.
Eye color.
So you're giving us permission to toss it.
Yes.
It's okay.
Toss it, buy new product. And then I've also done a segment on men's makeup, which I remember that one I felt uncomfortable with because I know I don't know much about men's makeup. And so I really had to research it. And it's fine to wear mascara. Men wear mascara. You know, I know my husband, probably shouldn't be saying this, but he loves self-tanner. He loves self-tanner. He's from Wisconsin, so he's more on the fair side.
Yeah.
So he puts on his self-tanner. So that could be considered makeup or enhancing his look.
Yeah.
So I went that way instead of, blush and eyeliner. But I did talk about eyeliner because some men wear eyeliner as well just to make their eyes pop.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Interesting.
that's so funny. My dad was from Wisconsin too, and he loved tanning in the summer. He would actually cut the cap of the baseball hat off so that when he walked 5 miles in the afternoon, he would get a full, facial tan. And he would he was Italian, so he would go super brown.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
So what are some of the unique ways that people take care of their skin in the desert? It's so dry here. It's so hot here. I feel like my skin doesn't operate well until it's like in another climate, in humidity.
Right. So it's good to use a facial mist. So I have one in my purse. I have one in my car. Well, it's hard to have one in your car when it's 120 degrees. So, but if you spray your skin and just hydrate, and I always say, make your skin cells happy. Our skin cells, when they're red and inflamed, when we're breaking out, when we have rosacea, they're not happy.
Yeah.
So hydration is key. And a lot of times when we're breaking out, we are not moisturizing. People all the time say, well, I have so much oil on my skin, so I don't want to moisturize. But we want to hydrate that skin so that your oil glands are not producing so much oil. And they kind of look at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, trust me, I thought I was, when I was younger, I had a lot of acne and I was not moisturizing my skin. I was stripping it with Sea Breeze. I don't even know Sea Breeze. Do you know what Sea Breeze is?
I know Sea Breeze.
I know Sea Breeze too.
Okay. I don't know if it's still on the market, but I used to strip my skin and I thought I was doing everything right because I had so much acne and I was not moisturizing because putting lotion on my face kind of scared me. And that's why when people come in and have more acne prone skin, I really like to sit down and talk to them because I've been there. I understand, what you're suffering from because it does really lower your self-esteem. I mean, it's just a downer when you have skin issues.
Yeah. I know people who have. I mean, I've never really, we all have hormonal, right? Hormonal acne, but like never has suffered from really bad. But I have friends and family who have, and it really affects they don't want to go outside or it's really uncomfortable.
So, I'm still traumatized, I think, and triggered when I think of the smell of Noxzema. Do you feel like that too with Sea Breeze?
Sea Breeze,
and
yeah, but of course I use Noxzema.
Yeah.
I mean, I would use that all the time. And
what the hell was that?
It's a mineral oil. So this is why our skin was so terrible back in the day. So we would use Noxzema, which is a heavy paraffin mineral oil based product. And when you rinse that off, you're not removing it completely.
Yeah.
So then you would take your Sea Breeze or rubbing alcohol or whatever, and you would strip your skin and take off that product off your face. But in the meantime, you're also stripping the natural oils. And when you do that, when you ruin the acid mantle of your skin, then bacteria is able to have a party on your face.
Yeah.
Basically flourish on your face. So that's how that happened.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So what do you recommend as the regimen? I've come to Lynda I've shopped with you for years, and now I'm shopping with her for my daughter's skin, because it's, they're in their teenage years and they got my bad acne genes. So tell us what the regimen is that you prescribe for shoppers coming into Skinbar.
Well, everyone is different. Everyone is different, but I brought you some goodies today of some of my favorites, and I believe vitamin C for everybody in the daytime is essential. Vitamin C lotion or serum underneath your moisturizer, underneath your sunscreen. It's going to give you that added protection from the sun. And a lot of times people say, well, I'm not out in the sun, so do I need a vitamin C or a sunblock?
Yes.
But the rays are still going through your window in your office or through your car. Now, something crazy is happening with blue light, and that is coming from our cell phones and from our computers. And that's actually worse than the sun rays. Yeah, blue light. And that's damaging the skin and causing aging and pigmentation. So you do need a vitamin C to protect your skin. It's very reparative as well and brightening. A retinol at nighttime. I always recommend some type of exfoliation at nighttime. I'm not a big fan of scrubs, because when I talk about exfoliation, people are like, oh yeah, I have the sea breeze or the, what is it, St. Ives apricot
No,
scrub.
jeez. Oh, you're like, no,
Yeah.
don't do it.
And that scrub is so popular. I mean, a lot of times people think that, scrubbing the bejesus out of your skin is going to help. And it has, what it does, it tears up the skin. It's very jagged edges in the apricot kernels.
Yeah.
And so I don't recommend that product. But a lot of times, instead of just having a reaction like, don't use that, I'll say, okay, if you really like that scrub, use it with your cleanser just to kind of dilute the harshness of it. And then that helps a little bit. But using more of a chemical exfoliation, like a retinol or a lactic or glycolic acid on the skin, is more effective to exfoliate the skin because you're leaving it on.
There's a lotion I was looking into, because I have I can't think of what it's called, but it's a lactic type of cream. I'm trying to think of the name of it, but I was looking into, because my skin doesn't really produce oil and it's really dry, and I was reading that could be good for that. Yeah, I'm trying to get the name of it. It's like a lactic acid, and it supposedly doesn't smell very good. But
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, lactic acid is hydrating and exfoliating. So if someone has dry skin, I do recommend more of a lactic acid, but you have to moisturize on top. So that's a lot of times when, if a lactic acid is in a cream, people think, well, it's a lotion, it's a cream. So that's my moisturizer and exfoliant, but it's not. Think of that as your treatment product, and then still moisturize on top
of that.
Yeah.
Interesting. And don't you think a lot of it too is internal, like staying hydrated, and it's not just what you put on your skin, but also what you put in your body?
Yes. And it really, I guess, upsets me when I hear people going to see a physician and they say, no, the chocolate or the Doritos is not causing your acne. Really the microbiome in your gut plays a big role in your skin. Your skin is an organ. So there's an imbalance. And so it's so important I brought you some collagen drink. So
I have questions about that.
Yeah, collagen is going to help we lose collagen as we age. So it's good to replenish with collagen, and then also drink lots of water, like you said, and also essential or oils like evening primrose oil or borage oil. Olive oil is great for the skin as well internally.
And it seems so counterintuitive, but I fell in love with oils. Ren came out with some really good skincare oils a couple of years ago, and it's like, oh, you're going to put oil on your skin? Yeah, it's wonderful.
Yeah, what do they call that now? I've seen the women who don't have oily skin slathering on
Oil.
Vaseline.
Oh.
It's not slathering. What's it called? It's when you're literally just putting it all over. I can't think of the word, but I do that with evening primrose oil.
Yeah.
And
Jojoba, maybe.
and coconut oil and jojoba. But I'm like, that's never going to work for me. Like some Vaseline all over my skin.
But then do you remove it? I've seen that too. I think it's a TikTok thing.
Yes.
Smearing it.
But do you
What's the
leave
word?
it
Yeah.
on?
I can't remember what the word is, but yes, you leave it on. I think they like sleep in it or something.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wow. I would never recommend that. But you did mention coconut oil.
Uh-huh.
So really on a scale of like 1 to 10, coconut oil is like an 11 when it comes to clogging the skin.
Oh.
It's very clogging. So, but it's great to remove your makeup.
Yes, that's what I use it for.
Okay. So you could use it to remove makeup, but then you need to cleanse it off. But someone put something on either Instagram or TikTok and using coconut oil as a moisturizer. And we get a lot of that. And then they break out and they're like, what's going on?
Yeah.
So yeah, the coconut oil is very clogging to the skin.
Interesting.
What are some things that people do commonly at home that you offer at Skinbar that there are things that go wrong at home that you need to control in an environment with an esthetician?
Well, nowadays you could buy anything.
Sure,
right?
yeah.
I mean, you could go on Amazon and buy your own microneedling device and your own glycolic peel 50% or whatever. And so, I could think of a story actually of someone that bought we have a high frequency device. And so we use it during our facials to kill bacteria, or it helps. There's so many benefits for high frequency. You could also, it kills bacteria. It oxygenizes the skin. Can't even say that. It's great for acne. It's great for anti-aging. And we had a customer buy one, and he burned his skin because when you use the high frequency, you're moving it. Okay, you're moving it. You're not leaving it on one specific area. And he did for probably 20 minutes. Okay, and he bought his own. He was so proud of himself. Bought his own high frequency device on Amazon, and he came in, and it was just raw and irritated. And he's like, "Help me."
Yeah.
So, but you could buy your own microdermabrasion machine. I've heard of that. But the microneedling, that kind of scares me because you could really do a lot of damage microneedling your own skin.
I had microneedling with radio RF last summer, and I can't imagine. I mean, even in the doctor's office, I was like, this is really uncomfortable. I can't imagine even thinking of doing that at home. Like, that needs to be under the care and supervision of someone who knows what they're doing.
I know, but that's what's happening out there.
What about dermaplaning? What have you seen going?
So dermaplaning, a lot of people are dermaplaning their own skin. We use a surgical blade, and we use a specific one. And I know a lot of the ones that you buy are more of a razor. They're not as sharp. And so I think that they're fine if you're in a pinch and you're going somewhere and you just need to really kind of get off that dead skin and the hair. Your makeup might look better if you use that. But we're going a little bit deeper onto the skin. And so I think they're fine if you're using it, once in a while. I think it's fine.
But it's not like it's not a 1-for-1 substitute. Doesn't sound like.
No, but the thing too with dermaplaning, I'm a big fan of dermaplaning. I love it so much. But we always give kind of strict guidelines. You can't work out after you dermaplane. You don't want to heat up the skin after you dermaplane. You don't want to sweat. You don't want to, it's fine to put makeup on, but make sure that your makeup is clean makeup because you're really exposing that skin to bacteria. And so that's the only problem if you're doing it at home. There's a lot of bacteria in your bathroom. I mean, that's where it kind of migrates.
That makes sense.
So, yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about living in Las Vegas. You have 2 kids. Tell us a little bit about your family and living in Summerlin, working in Henderson.
And how long have you been here? When did you move to Las Vegas?
So I moved here in 1996.
Okay.
So I've been here for 27 years. I always forget. I have to, count on my fingers.
Do the math.
Yeah, do the math. And I thought, like I said earlier, that I was going to be here for 5 years because I was an LA girl. I was like, what, the weather? And still in the summertime, I don't like it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's harsh. But I have 2 kids, and they're actually not kids anymore. They're Madison will be 24 this month, and Max is 22. They both went to UNR and graduated, or Max will graduate in May. Madison works for iHeartRadio, which is really cool. Yeah, she got a pretty good
That sounds
gig.
fun.
Yeah, she's an executive producer for iHeartRadio. And Max, we're not sure what Max is going to do, but maybe a firefighter. I think that's the way that he wants to go. But when I opened up Skinbar in 2004, my husband thought I was crazy. He's like, you don't know anyone in Henderson. You know everyone in you have a lot of friends in Summerlin. And in 2004, the economy was booming. There wasn't a lot of, believe it or not, like space available. And I found this space and I thought, well, it's a good area. It's in Anthem and I'm sure I can meet people. And that's what happened. And some of my best friends now live in Anthem. I've met so many great people.
Yeah.
And being in business for as long as you have been in business, I feel like your business is the only one I can think of that has lasted like through a great recession, through like really critical economic times as a small business. So how have you done that as a small business owner? How have you navigated those times?
Well, a lot of people ask me that question because it really, in the beginning, it was hard. I thought I was going to put on a rooster costume and go on Eastern and, wave a sign, say, come check
Get your
us out.
wax over here.
I know. So I was tempted to do that. I just never gave up. And when you come into Skinbar, everyone is passionate about skincare. When I interview people, I could tell if they really want to do this and they really care about people's skin because and that's what we're all about. And so that's how we've grown. The More Show does help, but it was one of those things I almost didn't go on the More Show, like I was telling you, because I was scared and opening up business is scary. So it's just making that leap, of faith and just believing in yourself, and not giving up because it's very easy to give up. So I never gave up.
Yeah. I feel like even in the commercial center that you're in, there are so many things that have come in and out of the,
It's on Eastern,
through the years.
Eastern and what?
Between Horizon Ridge and Sunridge Heights.
Okay.
And that is true. I mean, we've seen a lot of things come and go. There's a hair salon next door to Skinbar. It's called Liquid Hair Salon. And we both have been there the same amount of time, almost 19 years. Wow. And we've just kind of stuck it out, while we've seen things come and go.
Do you go down to the Strip very much?
Lately, we've been going to Resorts World because it's so easy to get to.
Yeah.
Resorts World, if you go through the back way,
Yeah.
you don't have to go through the whole Tropicana mess or anything like that. So, on Sundays, we started this new thing where we go to a new restaurant every Sunday and we just kind of check it out. And so we found some great ones and we found some not so great ones.
Tell us about them. Save us time.
Okay. Well, we found a Romy, which is in Summerlin, that is so fantastic. The chef came out and he and greeted us. He makes his own pastas. I'm not a big pasta person, but he makes his own pasta, his own sauces. It's amazing. It's called Aromi. And then we found another place. It's really going on Yelp and just Googling restaurants and seeing what has good reviews.
Yeah.
There was one that we went to. It's called Beso, Beso. And I'm like, it must be Spanish or Mexican because that means kiss in Spanish. Like, we went there. It was a Hungarian restaurant. No, I'm sorry, Bulgarian.
Bulgarian. Okay.
Yeah, it was a Bulgarian restaurant, and I was vegan for many years. Okay. And now I just started incorporating more meat, but I'm still not a heavy meat eater. And the menu was brain, heart,
Oh my God.
liver. I mean, it was like
All the organ meat.
it was all organ meats in this Bulgarian restaurant. And so we stuck it out. Yeah. And yeah, it was interesting.
Dish a little bit about Vegas, like some of the fun things that you've seen as a business owner, especially in the industry that you're in.
Our name's Skinbar, and sometimes people think it's, something else. And I'm like, no, it's a skincare center. We're not.
You just get random calls of people thinking that you are something like a massage place or something like that.
Right, with a happy ending.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have gotten those calls, or even men have walked in and wanted that, and they had to do the walk of shame. Okay. They had to do the walk of shame. And, the esthetician might come out and say, Lynda, like, I can't do this facial. Like, this is what he wants. And so, 5 minutes into the treatment, he'll walk out and we all just kind of stare at him, So that has happened a few times, I hate to say, but
a few. That's I was alluding to the story because I knew of one instance, but not a few.
a few times that has happened. But of course, it's Vegas. So men will want their, private parts waxed. And we don't do that. And so we can do that, but none of my staff members feel comfortable. So if they don't feel comfortable, then we're not doing it. So there's other wax boutiques that really specialize in that, and we'll just send them there. We're not, but of course for women, we'll wax women female parts, of course, because the whole staff is female and they feel comfortable with that, but not the male parts. No.
I love visiting with Lynda, and I think you can tell just from like this interview that you're so down to earth. Like, having been from LA, I think when you think, okay, skin person from LA, work for Dr. Murad, like you're going to walk into her boutique and be like, heavily judged. And, and I think that's like, right. That's the connotation of a lot of skin places too, where you're having to be vulnerable about what issues you're being challenged with. And I think that you make it so clear, like that you're friendly and warm, and just you make it easy for people to talk to you and to give them advice that doesn't come off in a judgmental way.
Yeah, no judging. That reminds me of someone that sat outside their car in front of my business for probably over an hour, and she was so scared to come in because she thought everyone was going to have perfect skin, and she was having skin issues. And she walked in. I mean, she was very hesitant and scared. And I was able to, reassure her that everyone pretty much that worked at Skinbar has had some kind of skin issue. And that's why we get into this industry. We get, I remember calling in sick to my job I was a checker at Vaughn's, and I'm like, I cannot show up checking out groceries looking like this. Like, my skin looks horrible.
Yeah.
And it is, people don't understand that how, hard it is on, like I said, self-esteem. So, well, thank you. I'm glad that I'm friendly. It's just something that I've always been interested in, even when I was a little girl, and my mom and dad are both from Central America. And I said, I want to go to beauty school. And my mom said, no, you cannot go to beauty school. That's not like a career. Like, she wanted me to be like on the news or something, which is kind of funny. She wanted me to be on the news.
That's ironic, actually.
I know, it is. And so I went to school to be a teacher because she called everyone in Guatemala, that's where she's from, that I was going to be a teacher. And then I realized that I'm really not good with kids. Like, I like my kids,
right?
I'm not. So I had to break it to her. I'm like, I'm not going to be a teacher, Mom. And I ended up going to beauty school. And she did pass a couple years ago, but I just remember her always telling everybody, Lynda is going to be on TV today.
Oh,
and she
that's
was so
sweet.
proud. And, but yeah, that's what I tell my kids, follow your passion. I mean, that's always been my passion. My parents didn't want me to do that. And then it eventually worked out, of course. But, you know, when you're passionate about something, then you could tell, you know, you can really tell.
Yeah.
I think like it's something that's so relevant for so many people, and yet I think there's a lot of overwhelm on making choices, and there's so many options out there. And you're right, like if you have a bad hair day, you can put your hair up in a bun, you can put a hat on, but like you can't really. There's not much you can do to hide your face. So I love talking to you and hearing your story. I think it's really interesting.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming on. Tell everybody where they can find you on Instagram and more.
So Instagram is Skinbar Las Vegas. Instagram. Facebook is also Skinbar Las Vegas. And on more, I'm usually on 1 to 2 times a month. And I love when someone throws out like, oh, you should talk about this on TV, because it kind of gets to be the same, you know? Last time I talked about skin cancer only because Biden had skin cancer removed. So I try to make it also relevant, you know, if something's in the news. And so, but I love to hear of different topics, you know, like the Vaseline thing. I'm going to research that.
Slugging. It's called slugging. Oh my gosh. Why did it just come to me?
Okay. Yeah.
Slugging?
You know, I'm going to look that up.
Right? Why do
That
people
isn't the
give it
snail thing that she was telling us
names?
about?
Yeah, that sounds like the snail thing, slugging.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you so much for coming. And you can drop your questions and comments for Lynda in this video. Hopefully you're watching on YouTube. If you're not, go subscribe to us on the Ended Up in Vegas podcast on YouTube. And we hope you enjoyed today's episode. Thanks for joining us.